Welcome back to the ROKK Rundown. Today is our last conversation for 2025. So I want to get right into it, guys. This was I can't even believe it's only been 12 months. I'm sure a lot of our clients feel the same way. What would you say your takeaway was for 2025?
Ron?
Please.
It was an interesting year. I will say that. No, I would say on the political side, I'm amazed at how quickly the president was able to consolidate political power and enact, I should say, pieces of his agenda. I think we all knew coming in that he had a point of view, but his ability to get some of those things done, and you just look at it compared to the first administration, and how he had trouble, kind of like navigating Washington, D.C., and he seems to have figured out a way to kind of cut all the red tape and get to what he's trying to do, whether we like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the biggest surprise of 2025 is so many different things. And it's really hard to encapsulate into just one thing. You had so many different takes on what was going on throughout the whole year, and they would last for a week. So I think the biggest surprise was just the increased amount of whiplash we got and the desensitization over major issues and major things that happened in American history over the past year that we just looked at briefly and then had to devour the next piece of news. Point where historians will be looking at this year and unpacking it in a 15-part Ken Burns documentary. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing for me would be not only the consolidation of power from President Trump, but how political movements with one party in power get a euphoria over that they think this is going to last forever. It happened with Bush, it happened with Obama, it happened with Trump. Now with the second re-election, the vindication of President Trump and the MAGA movement. And there needs to be some caution with the movement because 1/3 of that electorate helped elect them. While we have 1/3 Democrat, 1/3 Republican, it's 1/3 that goes this way or that way, and they're very fickle. So next year, the party that answers the questions of how do I make your life easier? How do I help you with affordability and healthcare and those issues, big issues that affect your family, that's who's going to win the 2026 elections. It is not a preordained thing.
Yeah. Can I summarize that? Because I think you both had similar. My takeaway from what you both said is that 2025, especially for client work, was about helping them and us as people that are communicators re-find our voice in a really crowded space. Every 5 minutes, there's a new news story. Every 5 minutes, there's another electoral something. We're having a new shift, a new expansion, contraction. So 2025 was about figuring out how to make noise in an incredibly noisy time.
Yeah.
At least that would be my takeaway.
Great takeaway.
So then what do we do with our voice now that we're turning into 26? Because to your point, Ron, the person whose message is heard the loudest and the clearest is the one that owns 2026.
And the one that knows how to exactly pinpoint and hyper-target the audiences that they need to get the message across and the influencers they need to attract to recruit in order to influence the policymakers that have a very noisy environment. How do you punch through and get your message to those folks effectively and efficiently? That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Rodell, what do you think for next year?
I think that, and just kind of keying off of what Ron was saying, there's a lot of noise out there, but I think there's some fundamentals, especially if you look at it from a political standpoint, and of course we have the midterms going on. Affordability is a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that and it's not to discount other things that are going on, but what people are dealing with in their everyday lives, in their pocketbooks, and their ability to to support their family in the way that they want to support their family, I think is always a driving factor, and I think that it'll likely be the driving factor going into 2026. So.
And one other surprise of 25, I think we all agree on, is the P. Diddy documentary on Netflix. What a deep dive.
Is that your favorite holiday movie this
I
season?
don't think it's my favorite holiday movie this season, but we were talking about it off air, and a lot of people are talking about it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Between that and the controversy between two journalists in Washington, D.C., there's been a lot of extra drama in the outside of all the
I mean,
politics
literally,
that's
Rodell
going
was
on.
saying to me, quote unquote, 50 Cent is an amazing documentary producer.
I did not say that because I have not watched that, and I would also say that I think the biggest surprise that I have
You
in
said it's 50, not
2025,
50 cent.
I said it's 50, but
Yeah.
I am utterly surprised at how much Ron knows about Diddy or 50 Cent or Tupac
Surprises us
or
every
Biggie.
day, doesn't he?
Exactly. None of those things Ron spitting knowledge
He's a
about
student
any of
of-
those people were not on my 2025 bingo card. So,
All right, last question of the year. What's your favorite holiday movie?
A Christmas Story.
Okay.
A riff off of the Christmas Story, Scrooged.
All right.
That's
okay.
a good one.
Yeah.
Those are both pretty good ones.
What's yours?
White Christmas. It's a really old one. It's a Fred Astaire, and it's worth your time if you haven't seen it.
Very nice.
Yep. Okay, well, here we are. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year. We'll see you in January.
Happy holidays.